Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some Terra Invicta, shall we? Okay, so I had played an episode of this game and made a video on it, just starting it up on my own, and I figured I would continue it but on stream and see if we can work together to try and understand it. Meat Boy, Eric, hello, good evening. It's incredibly complicated, and I think if we talk through it, maybe there will be some semblance of understanding that resonates on me, but for now, I'm still very much learning the ropes. Oh, great. So Eric says he's watched a lot so he can help. That is terrific. So we're still super early. We've only completed one mission phase at the moment, all right? And so all we have done is send our two counselors out. We sent Stacy Croft over to investigate the UFO crash site in China, and then we sent Mayamuna over to Tripoli in Libya to try and curry some political favor and make some allies. Hey, Necronth, good evening. Good to see you. In terms of grand strategy games, I mean, I've played a little bit of... I've played 4X games, if those qualify. I've played Crusader Kings 3, I've played Endless Space, Galactic Civ, Civilization itself, but that's really it. And I think Necronth is right on it, and Eric is telling me that we need to land grab and try to make a base. So that's kind of where we're going to go with this. Grim, Nickman, hello, good to see you. So right now the game wants me to recruit a third counselor so we can have more people taking action during the mission phase, which makes a lot of sense. So, I think, from what I understand, this is grand strategy because if you're new to this game, if you've never seen it, it's very much, from what I understand from some of the comments on YouTube, it was perhaps developed by some people who made the Long War mod for XCOM, and it has an XCOM feel because there's a UFO that has crash landed on the planet, and it's like our response to finding out we're not alone in the solar system or the galaxy. And you can see, like, okay, you start on Earth and you can zoom in and you can see like these little sections of this is America, for example. But if I zoom out, you can see that it's not just Earth. We immediately are like in orbit around the Earth, and then we zoom out more and oh, we're in the solar system, and we zoom out even more, and we've got the Kuiper Belt and just these like wandering ice ball planets at the edges of the solar system. And so it is enormous. I mean, absolutely enormous. And we'll see if we can kind of dip our toe in this and begin to understand what we're up to. So before we go to the next mission phase, I have the game paused at the moment. We're going to recruit a third counselor, so I'm going to go to the counselor screen, and let's see who we can pick up. So these are all potential candidates that we can get, and they are from different nations. Yeah, isn't it cruel, Necronth? I mean, we're going to be building spaceships, I believe. Like, they've already hinted to me that we're going to be trying to shuttle resources into orbit, into space, perhaps to build some kind of defense, fleet. So I don't know. Distro, hello, my friend. Good evening. Good to see you. So I'm excited about that. Now, we need to recruit someone new. Eric is saying we need to build a base, we need to land grab. Rob. Hello, my friend. Good evening. Good to see you. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? We will be industrializing space, says Eric. Awesome. Hey. Ace, good evening. This is like a grand strategy game where aliens have landed on the Earth and we are trying to perhaps build a defense against either aliens coming in or against other nations on the Earth as we attempt to come to terms, like existential terms, with meeting aliens and all that would go into that, I suppose. So it's kind of like XCOM because it's inspired by XCOM modders, but it's a little bit more political, at least as so far as I see it. So let me go before I recruit. I'm going to go back to my counselor screen, and right now we have this. Stacy Croft is good at science and investigation, and Mayamuna is good at perception, or persuasion rather. So she's like an administration. So she's more of like a bureaucrat, a politician, and she is more of like a scientific, like an engineer or something like that. So we have these two skills, but we're gonna need some other ones, and I don't know if we want to double down because it's early game for building a base, if we want like political cachet, or if we're more interested in, you know, espionage or command, security, military strength, anything like that. It really is interesting, Rob. The only thing is it's extremely complicated, but luckily Eric has seen some of it, and anybody else, if you're out there in the chat, if you know about this game and can help answer questions and get me into it, that would be great, because I did play a video. I recorded a video already for the channel of me starting the game, but it was like, oh, this is complicated. So Eric is saying we want someone good at public opinion and someone good at taking control of countries, doing coups, crackdowns, and administration. So we have Mayamuna, who's good at persuasion and administration, but let's try to get somebody else who can do that
Commander,
too.
I'd like to introduce you to the Council.
Thank you.
Take some time to familiarize yourself with our councillors. They are the backbone of our organization.
They are. Okay, so I am playing like on the kind of tutorial mode for the first time player, where they set your faction right away and then they guide you through the game. So we can expand the counselor details by clicking on them. Okay. And we can click here to center our camera on where they are. And we want to recruit a new one. Okay. So let's do that. So nice distro. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I think, Ace, we gotta build up to war, but first we have to like get as much political influence, because I think that nations provide you with resources that you need to build your stuff. So we kind of begin there. So let's see what we can do. I think we can sort by like a stat. Maybe. Let's see if we can like kind of organize the candidates by persuasion or something. Not really, not that I can see. So we're going to want to go down and just check it out. Now it's going to cost me influence to recruit someone. I have 101 influence. I get 1 per turn, and it's going to cost 30 influence. Well, right now, that's a great question. So there are, basically the way I understand it is, different people have different reactions to finding the alien ship that's crash landed on the Earth. So there's like xenophobic people who are like straight up anti-alien. There's people who are pro-alien. There's people who want to fortify defense. There's going to be people who have different agendas, and your enemies are people who are operating in a way that's like antithetical to the path you want to take in response to the aliens landing. So let's try to find somebody who's like particularly persuasive. So this person, wow, she has like a very kind of like sinister face. So she's good at persuasion for sure. Let's see if there's anybody else in here who jumps out. So this lady right here is a professor. And she'll join us in China. So maybe, I don't know if this is something I don't know. Like, if we recruit her because she's Chinese, does she give us a benefit for acquiring influence or allies within China because she's, you know, a national, or does that not really matter? There's also Cindy, who is American, and she is a diplomat, and she has good persuasion and administration. Yes and no, says Eric. Interesting. Okay. So, you know, there's a lot going on. And these are all the different missions that she can undergo. I have to tell you, when I first started this game, it did feel a lot like a board game where you have different characters that can take different actions on a turn, and then everybody has that, and you kind of just, you know, play your character, take a turn, and then, you know, everyone picks their pieces back up and you go at it again. But anyway, she gets you 3.2 influence per turn. This woman gives you research points and influence per turn. But she's not as good at administration. I'm going to go back to I think I have an American on my squad. No, let me see. Let me look at my team. Yeah, so I have Stacy Croft, who's already American, and I have Mayamuna, who's Egyptian, I think. And so I'm going to maybe want to recruit somebody from a different nation. I don't know if it matters. Oh, interesting. Okay, Eric, so let's look at that. So we're going to go back to, you know...
Commander, I'd like to introduce you...
Right. Let's go here, and let's recruit someone. And this lady here, let's see what her traits are. So she's academic. She's an addict. She's rich. Okay. She's a chemist. She's a media darling, which gives her all that influence. And she's transparent. So her loyalty is true. So you can see, for example, like she has a loyalty. And because she's transparent, this loyalty, I can read this accurately. So I'm going to recruit her. Confirm. All right, so we got another counselor. So we've got this, like, these are our counselors. We have an all-woman team. I don't know if I should get another one. I can. Yeah, they want me to recruit a fourth one, so let's get another. And do we want to keep going around the globe with politics? If so, we might want to pick up, you know, this diplomat. Or do we want to start going hard into administration? This woman is like... Looks like she's from... Is she from Saudi Arabia? No, she's from India. And she is affluent, so she makes some money for you. Right, so it's really interesting. This game is really, really deep. It's like your counselors also generate resources per turn in addition to the territories and the political holdings that you have. So she gets you some money because maybe she's a tycoon. I don't know. Hey, Captain Duck. Hello, my friend. Good evening. This is a grand strategy game that's kind of like XCOM and Crusader Kings, kind of, maybe. I don't know. Mixed up. It's a lot of political intrigue and space battles, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, there you go. Eric's got it. So this guy's also a tycoon, Jeremias. Ooh, look, he gives you a lot of influence and a lot of money. And he's from Costa Rica. This guy seems pretty sweet. he is a puppet master, which means he gets a bunch of what is this, influence, and it says he gets +1 espionage. He's an oligarch, which means he gets money and influence. He's prosperous, which brings us money, and he's aware. I mean, honestly, I know money isn't everything, but check this out. I'm only making 0.38 money per turn because of, you know, my budget right now. So this guy would give me a huge influx of cash. Now, what's curious about this is if you mouse over apparent loyalty, it says the loyalty attribute determines how likely counselors are to betray their faction to another. So that means, like, I guess, backstab us? The value displayed is normally an estimate based on their behavior. The counselor's actual loyalty may only be discovered by investigating this counselor possibly multiple times. So we, like, can't even trust our own people, and he is not very loyal. Like, his loyalty is 2, so that's kind of scary. I don't know how much we should care about that number at the beginning, but I definitely will spend his money. So he's going to cost 60 influence to recruit, and she also costs 60. I wonder if the cost of recruiting just scales up based on how many counselors you have. I think so, Captain Duck. I think they can, like, serve other masters behind the scenes and ruin you, potentially. I'm going to recruit this guy, and I'm going to show you, basically, if I go to the nations, okay, you can see the different nations that we have influence in. Libya is the one that we have, but if I go over here on Intel, I think, yeah, these are all the different factions in the game. So we've only met one other faction, which is Project Exodus, and they have a goal of, they want to escape the aliens by sending humans to other stars. Like, so their plan is they're interested in building spaceships to just leave the Earth and running away from the aliens. And then you can see there's, like, Humanity First, the Protectorate, the Academy, the Initiative, the Servants, and their leaders and goals will become known once we meet them. Okay, Eric says counselors can betray you. Now, I haven't met any of the aliens yet. I've only seen the crash site. Globally, you can see the public opinion about the different possibilities of how we respond to the aliens. So, like, the servants apparently want to submit to the aliens. Wow, that's hilarious. So Eric is saying you can trust that certain factions will behave in a way that goes along with their agenda. So the servants are like, we want to just give up control to the aliens. The Protectorate want to work with the aliens or appease them. The Academy wants to cooperate. The Initiative has exploitable beliefs. Project Exodus wants to exodus the Earth. We are the Resistance, so that's our faction. We're trying to, like, arm a military response against the aliens, and then Humanity First also wants to destroy the aliens, and then 50% of the people are just undecided about what to do. So, interesting. Okay. So, now they want us to research We Are Not Alone. So, research the global technology We Are Not Alone. Interesting. It doesn't make sense to me either, Rob. But in the opening cinematic, one of the things they talk about, Rob, is that people have, like, irrational reactions to the aliens, you know, and it's just fight or flight, I guess. And some people are like, I'm just going to try to run away. But it does seem kind of far-fetched, given that their space travel technology is probably much more advanced than ours. But maybe what they're hoping is, you know, that that philosophy where it's like there's two people and then there's a bear, and you don't have to be faster than the bear, you just have to be faster than the other person to escape. Like maybe Project Exodus is like, look, we're going to bail. A lot of people are going to stay behind. They will slow down the aliens, give them a lot to do, and we'll just kind of slip through the cracks and be able to escape. I don't know. Anyway, once the research is complete, the clandestine cells project will become available. Okay. And let's see. Nations.
This is the nations screen.
Okay.
From here, we can keep tabs on all nations we have control points in, or view data on all the nations on Earth.
Okay.
This information should prove useful in directing our counselors' missions and in directing the priorities of nations under our control.
Right. So what's going on here is that each nation is made up of control points, and whoever controls like the most control points, I believe, gets the lion's share of the resources that that nation generates. And so we sent our agent or our counselor into Libya and started like trying to get some control points here, and this represents what we get from the nation each turn, I think. People, good evening. Hilarious. I'm telling you, people, we will probably play Terraria on Tuesday of this week. All right, let's see. If you have control over a nation, you can select an active priority template here. You cannot modify priorities for any nation you don't control. And we can design templates here. And this is the control point summary. And this shows you your faction's capacity to possess control points without influence and mission penalties. Interesting, okay. And then stats.
This section aggregates data collected from around the globe. You can see world data, the commodity market, the current environmental conditions, any ongoing wars, and how we stand in the eyes of the global public.
Okay, so she's talking about this screen.
This is the research screen. The top 3 charts show what the global scientific community is working on. The bottom charts show what council engineering projects we are privately pursuing.
Right.
We can direct our researchers to prioritize any or all of these options.
Okay, so they want us to do this We Are Not Alone project, and we're gonna, I was doing alien signatures, but let's send people into We Are Not Alone, and we're gonna put 75% of our effort into this project. So we're researching this We Are Not Alone, and it says sociologists consider what the alien arrival means for human institutions. Okay, so we're just kind of like coming to terms with, you know, existentially meeting aliens, and that's what we're trying to figure out. It says, oh, and by the way, oh wow, Eric says certain factions will use nukes. So on the top, these top 3 are the global projects. This is like all of the factions are working together. These are shared missions. And then on the bottom are individual projects that you can work on yourself. And so if it feels kind of like Civilization when there's like, you know, the United Nations efforts or whatever, where people are working together and you get a distribution of the rewards based on how much you contribute, I think. Amy, good evening. Good to see you. So we're going to go with this. This looks good. We're researching it. My only options are to go to 75%. Okay. And we're going to then just unpause the game and move. Oh, I'm going to need to assign people, I think, to a job, right? But they're awaiting the next mission phase. Going great, Amy. How you doing? All right, so we don't have her doing a mission, but she's just waiting. So I think we can't give her anything until the next mission phase happens. So let's just wait. Let's see. I'll speed it up. Oh, I see, Eric. That's cool. All right. I think missions happen at the beginning of the month, but I'm not 100% sure. So if I zoom in and I select somebody, okay.
This section aggregates data collected from around the globe.
I already heard this.
You can see
chip.
world
Okay.
data, the commodity market, the current environmental conditions, any ongoing wars, and how we stand in the eyes of the global public.
Okay. Oh, that's cool, Amy. I hope it's going well. So it looks like it's weekly when you get to assign new missions. So now we are into the next week, and we get to give our counselors jobs. So, like, we have Stacy Croft selected right now, and you can go down here, and these are all the different jobs she can do. So she can try to control a nation, but she's not great at that. She can also try to advise and provide expertise to a nation or a hab. And it says the counselor's science, command, and administration attributes will improve the target's research output. Oh, okay. So I could send her to, like, advise Libya, maybe, and make them generate more science for us. I could go to ground to, like, escape enemy detection, or I could contact someone else from another faction to initiate a diplomatic exchange. So, of these options, I don't know. No, that would be great, Amy. Please do. Go for it. So, Stacy isn't the best one to work with right now. Let's go around and use our counselors that are going to be able to actually get political influence. So, Mayamuna can control the nation. She can do a crackdown. She can try to purge other nations or other factions from a nation. She can overthrow the government in a nation. She can increase public support in a nation for our cause. That's kind of interesting. She can advise, she can go to ground, and she can contact. So, if we're going to take the advice of, excuse me, Eric, and try to land grab as much as we can so that we get influence in nations so that they will contribute resources to our project of resisting the alien incursion, let's go ahead then and have her... let's see if I click Control Nation, right? So we already have a counselor here, and we have an 86% chance of controlling the nation. And we gain an open control point in the nation. Now, Libya, let's see how many control points Libya even has. This is an interesting question because I want to see, like, we have what, one control point on Libya, and there's 6 total in a nation. So if I go back to this screen, and I have her, and I'm like control nation, I think what this is showing is that there's 5 open control points on Libya, and if I tell her to control it,
taking control,
she's going to do that to try to get another control point. All right, now she's begins in China because that's where she started. And if we want her to control, advise, surveil... I mean, this is what's so interesting about this game. So it's not like... sometimes there's just a set number of actions that people can take. But different counselor types can take different actions. So, like, surveil location was not available, for example, on the previous 2 counselors that I looked at. And this says it significantly increases the likelihood enemy counselors and aliens will be detected. So this is like if we're trying to see if there's spies or, other things going on.